Hello children, in this video now we are going to talk about titration for class 11th. So as for the very first time in 11th class you are going to do the titration. So first of all I will tell you why we do the titration. Titration karte kyun hai? So actually the titration process is carried out to find the volume of one solution. It is carried out to find the volume of one solution required to react completely with a certain known volume of solution, known volume of some other solution, and basically this is the most important step in the volumetric analysis. The titration process is also called as volumetric analysis. Titration is in the syllabus of both the classes, that is 11th and 12th. So in class 11th the titration which you have to perform is known as acid-base titration. Which kind of titration we have to do in 11th? It's acid-base titration. In 12th class we will be doing redox titration. So that is out of the scope of 11th. So if you want to refer, you can find the videos for the redox titration from the playlist. But for 11th class it is in the syllabus acid-base titration. So one more thing, the bases which we are going to use, they are all the water soluble bases. Water soluble bases, and we very well know water soluble bases are called as alkalis. Okay, so the above acid base titration can be renamed as acid alkali titration. So you may say acid base titration or you may say it as acid alkali titration also. Sometimes it is also called as alkalimetry titration. So these are the different names of the same thing. Okay, so basically either you call it as acid base, or you call it as acid alkali, or you call it as acidimetry titration or alkalimetry titration, I should say. Now the question comes, what kind of reaction is involved? So you very well know from class 10th itself, whenever an acid it reacts with a base, you get a salt and water, and this reaction, acid and base reacting to each other, we very well know they are going to neutralize each other. So this reaction is neutralization reaction. Okay, so the reaction which is involved in this titration is neutralization reaction. So at each and every step you are getting a question for viva. Which kind of titration is this? It is acid base titration, also called as alkalimetry titration, and reaction involved will be neutralization reaction. So now let us discuss the syllabus of class 11th, that actually what combinations you can get. So bases which are actually strong bases which we use, like NaOH, we know it's a very strong base. Okay, Sb means strong base. Sodium carbonate can be used for titration. This is again a weak base. So you have a choice of a strong base and a weak base. Similarly for acid, you can use HCl, that is a strong acid, and you can have oxalic acid also, oxalic acid, which is weak acid. So these are the four options, means 2 acids, 2 bases given, which you can use to do your titration. Basically, one thing only you need to note is, you can never titrate a weak base with a weak acid. It means titration of oxalic acid with sodium carbonate is not possible. Rest all other combinations you can make. Okay, except for oxalic acid and sodium carbonate combination, all other combinations are possible. And the question is, why we cannot titrate oxalic acid with sodium carbonate? So answer is, as sodium carbonate is a weak base and oxalic acid is a weak acid, so we don't have a proper indicator for knowing the readings. That is why this titration is not possible. One more thing, I used a new term for you, and that is called as indicator. So what is an indicator? Indicator. So indicator is something which will tell you the reaction is complete, which indicates that reaction is complete. So as you know, all of them on dissolving in water will give you a colorless solution. All above, NaOH, when you dissolve in water, it's a colorless solution. Same for sodium carbonate, HCl, oxalic acid, all give you the colorless solution. So how we will come to know that the reaction is done? How you will come to know that acid and base have neutralized each other and salt is formed? Or you can say, how will you understand that neutralization reaction is over? So you need an indicator. So basically, indicator is something which tells you that reaction is complete. Actually, what happens is, when you add, supposingly you are performing a titration between HCl and NaOH. So if HCl is reacting with NaOH, then there will be some point at which the HCl and NaOH will be equal. Okay, supposingly you are keeping NaOH in the burette. If you don't know the burette and pipette and other apparatus which are used for the titration, you can refer to the video of the apparatus used in titration. So you should understand which are the apparatus and how they look. So if NaOH is there in the burette and you have taken HCl in the titration flask, okay, and you are allowing NaOH to fall in this HCl, then the solution will remain colorless. Both are the colorless. NaOH is also colorless, HCl is also colorless. So when you are pouring NaOH in HCl, they both are colorless, so they will remain colorless on mixing with each other. But there will be some time at which NaOH will be more than HCl, क्योंकि आप NaOH को कंटिन्यू गिरा रहे हो. सपोजिंगली HCl की क्वांटिटी यहाँ पर सिर्फ 20 ml है. सो कुछ प्रॉपर क्वांटिटी ऑफ NaOH HCl को न्यूट्रलाइज करेगा. ठीक है, सपोज कि 20 ml NaOH ही 20 ml HCl को न्यूट्रलाइज करता है. तो जैसे ही 20 ml आपका खत्म होगा और आपने 20.1 ml यानी एक ड्रॉप भी NaOH की एक्स्ट्रा हुई, तो यहाँ जो इंडिकेटर प्रेजेंट होगा HCl के साथ, वो इस एक एक्स्ट्रा ड्रॉप ऑफ NaOH से रिएक्ट करके आपको पर्टिकुलर कलर देगा. सो इंडिकेटर वो सब्सटेंस है जो रिएक्शन खत्म होने के बाद कलर चेंज शो करता है. दैट इज एंड पॉइंट पर कलर शो करता है. वन मोर थिंग, व्हेन यू टेक द रीडिंग, when the color is changed and you see the reading from the burette, then you see the lower meniscus. Suppose your solution is filled till here, and as it is a colorless solution, you will see the reading of this point. This is called as the lower meniscus. So in colorless solutions, we see the reading from the lower meniscus. Let me explain the meaning of meniscus once again. See, it's a colorless solution. Supposingly the solution is filled till here, but this is the meniscus which you will see for your reading. This is called as looking for the lower meniscus. And in the colored solutions, we see the upper meniscus. So let's discuss about the indicator. That what is the combination given and which indicator you'll have to use. If this is the question, then let us discuss. In class 11, the indicators which can be used are methyl orange. Methyl orange is one indicator, and phenolphthalein is the second indicator. So if you have acid, then methyl orange shows red color in acid. Okay, whereas it shows yellow color in base. This you already have studied in class 10th. Then phenolphthalein, in acid it shows colorless, means in acid if you are pouring phenolphthalein few drops, it will be colorless, it will not show any change in color. But if you have taken base, then phenolphthalein in base shows the red color, which you may call it as deep pink also, right? Basically, now question comes, when to use methyl orange and when to use phenolphthalein. Supposingly you have taken a weak base in the titration. If you have taken a weak base on the last page I told you the sodium carbonate was the weak base. So if your titration is involving sodium carbonate, then your choice should be methyl orange for the indicator. Question comes why? Answer is because methyl orange shows color change at lower pH. So sodium carbonate is a weak base, so for lower pH you will use methyl orange. But supposingly if you are using strong base, if you are using strong base, then you will be using phenolphthalein. Strong base like NaOH you are using. So if you are taking NaOH for the titration, then phenolphthalein will be used as an indicator. Now the question is again why we are taking phenolphthalein for strong base. Answer is because phenolphthalein shows color change at higher pH. Okay. Now one more thing. Supposingly you are taking the solutions for doing the titration, then there are certain rules. Like if you are doing titration taking NaOH as a base, then NaOH is always filled in burette. Okay, always. And NaOH, when it reacts with phenolphthalein, you will get permanent light pink, or you can say it changes colorless solution to permanent pink in base. Okay. Then for methyl orange similarly, if in your burette your base is there, which may be sodium carbonate, as you said for weak base we will be using methyl orange. So in burette your base is sodium carbonate. So if this is the case, then there may be two situations. You have to remember NaOH is always taken in burette. Always. This is fixed. Okay? But here if you are taking sodium carbonate, there may be two conditions. You may take it in the burette. If you have taken it in the burette, then it will show the change from red to yellow color. Methyl orange will show you the change from red to yellow. And if you have taken acid in burette, then it will be showing you the change from yellow to red. So what we have understood is methyl orange, if used, you should have base sodium carbonate. If you are using phenolphthalein, then base should be NaOH, or if I say vice versa, it will be more correct. That is, if you are using base sodium carbonate, always use methyl orange as indicator, and if you are using base as NaOH, always use phenolphthalein as an indicator. These are the questions for Viva. If you are using NaOH as a base in your titration, what indicator you will use? Answer is phenolphthalein. We cannot use methyl orange. Reason I told you, as it is strong base, so phenolphthalein works at the higher pH. Okay, it shows color change at higher pH. That is why for strong base phenolphthalein is taken. So I have explained, I guess. Now, as I taught you on the previous page, you are doing a titration between acid and base. Okay, so it will give you salt plus water, which is your neutralization reaction. You already know. When you are adding acid to water, acid to base, or base to acid, vice versa, whatever you are doing, there will be some point at which the quantity of both will be equal, and that point while doing the reaction is called as equivalence point. That will be called as equivalence point. The point at which the quantity of acid is equal to quantity of base. Now how to understand this? Supposingly this is your burette, okay, and in this burette you have filled NaOH, which is a base, and in the titration flask you have taken HCl, right? And as I told you, if NaOH is your base which you are using, you have to use the which indicator? Phenolphthalein. So in HCl which you have taken here in titration flask, you add few drops, supposingly 2 drops of phenolphthalein indicator. Okay, so you already know in acid phenolphthalein is colorless, so it will not show any change, right? Now start pouring NaOH from the burette to the titration flask. So NaOH and HCl are reacting, they are continuously reacting, you are not looking for any change. Till which point you are not going to see any change? Till you don't reach equivalence point. Equivalence point is the point at which, or you can say till which, quantity of acid and base is equal. So there will not be any change in color till equivalence point is reached. And equivalence point is what point? It's the point till which the quantity of acid and base is equal. So you are adding NaOH continuously in HCl, but there will not be any change. But as soon as 1 drop of NaOH is excess, okay, means HCl entire, supposingly for making you understand this concept, I use some numbers. Supposingly you have used 10 HCl molecules, you have taken 10 HCl molecules in this flask, you have added 2 drops of phenolphthalein as indicator, and you have taken 50 molecules, or 50 molecules only, you say NaOH here you have filled. So you are pouring NaOH from here. Suppose you have added 10 molecules of NaOH. So 10 NaOH is equal to 10 HCl. 10 NaOH is equal to 10 HCl. Salt is made, water is made. Neutralization is over. So this point will be called as equivalence point, at which acid and base quantity is equal. They have neutralized each other. तो वो जो पॉइंट होता है जहाँ पे एसिड और बेस ने एक दूसरे को न्यूट्रलाइज कर दिया, वो पॉइंट इक्विवेलेंस पॉइंट कहलाता है. ये नंबर्स 10 और 50 आई हैव जस्ट यूज्ड टू make the point clear. Okay, these are not in numbers, they are in quantity, they are in ml. Okay, so 10 molecules of acid have suppose न्यूट्रलाइज्ड 10 molecules of base. तो जहां पर ये रिएक्शन जस्ट कंप्लीट होता है दैट इज इक्विवेलेंट पॉइंट. और टाइट्रेशन में आपको इक्विवेलेंट पॉइंट कभी नहीं मिलता. देन व्हाई वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इट? बिकॉज जैसे कि आपने बोला कि 10 मॉलिक्यूल्स एक दूसरे को न्यूट्रलाइज कर रहे हैं, तो जैसे ही 11th ड्रॉप NaOH का HCl में गिरेगा वैसे ही वो एक्स्ट्रा हो जाएगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पर एसिड तो खत्म हो चुका है, न्यूट्रलाइज हो चुका है, अब एसिड बचा नहीं है और बेस आपने फिर से ऐड कर दिया है. तो 11th ड्रॉप ऐड करते से ही वो 11th ड्रॉप ऑफ NaOH विल रिएक्ट विद फिनॉफ्थलीन, और फिनॉफ्थलीन बेस से रिएक्ट करते से पिंक कलर दे देता है. ठीक है, तो यू विल गेट अ लाइट पिंक कलर. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज एंड पॉइंट ऑफ द रिएक्शन, जहां पे आपको क्या मिलता है? कलर चेंज मिलता है. सो एंड पॉइंट ऑफ द रिएक्शन इज द पॉइंट एट विच रिएक्शन इज जस्ट कंप्लीट. रिएक्शन इक्विवेलेंस पॉइंट पर ही कंप्लीट हो चुकी होती है, मगर वहां पर आपको पता नहीं चलता क्योंकि दोनों ही कलरलेस सोल्यूशन है, तो आपको पता नहीं चलेगा. लेकिन जैसे ही आपने यहाँ पर 11th ड्रॉप ऐड करी है, जो है आपको क्या मिलेगा? लाइट पिंक. तो जहां आपको लाइट पिंक मिला है वो एंड पॉइंट कहलाता है. तो आपको हमेशा दिखता क्या है टाइट्रेशन में? एंड पॉइंट दिखता है. क्यों? क्योंकि एंड पॉइंट इज द पॉइंट एट विच इंडिकेटर शोज यू अ विजिबल कलर चेंज. तो इंडिकेटर जो है वो एंड पॉइंट पर कलर चेंज शो करता है. तो एंड पॉइंट का मतलब होता है रिएक्शन खत्म हो चुकी थी एक ड्रॉप पहले ही, अब आपको पता चल रहा है एक एक्स्ट्रा ड्रॉप आने पर. सो दैट एक्स्ट्रा ड्रॉप ऑफ NaOH इज एक्चुअली रिएक्टिंग विद दिस इंडिकेटर टू गिव यू दिस लाइट पिंक कलर. तो इक्विवेलेंस पॉइंट आपको कभी नहीं पता चलता. क्यों? क्योंकि एसिड और बेस आपके दोनों ही कलरलेस है. तो कलरलेस चीज में आप कलरलेस चीज ऐड कर रहे हैं तो न्यूट्रलाइजेशन हो रहा है. ये प्रूव हो जाएगा जब जो है पिंक कलर आएगा. तो एक्चुअली न्यूट्रलाइजेशन खत्म होकर एक ड्रॉप एक्स्ट्रा गिर रही है, जो आपको बता रही है कि अब रिएक्शन खत्म होने के बाहर निकल आए हैं हम. सो इक्विवेलेंस पॉइंट यू नेवर सी, यू कैन नॉट सी, बट यू मे कंसीडर इक्विवेलेंस पॉइंट वॉज देयर just one drop before you get the light pink in the titration. So this is actually the condition that how to understand reaction is complete. So if you remember on the very first page I told you, you have a choice. You can take NaOH as a base and HCl as an acid or oxalic acid as an acid, but you can take sodium carbonate only with HCl. It will never be titrated with oxalic acid for the reason I have already told. So with these 4 solutions, how many combinations of solutions are possible for doing titration? So we are having 3 possibilities. We can take NaOH as a base and HCl as an acid. This is one possibility, NaOH as a base and HCl as a acid. So when they react, you get NaCl plus water. And if you see, the reaction is balanced, isn't it? Number of sodium, oxygen, hydrogen, chlorine are all equal. It means one molecule of NaOH neutralizes one molecule of HCl. So ratio can be said as 1:1. Right? So this is one possibility of choosing the solutions for doing titration. Second possibility can be you take NaOH and in place of HCl you change it to a weak acid, that is oxalic acid. The formula for oxalic acid is this, and usually 2 molecules of water of crystallization are also there, so we write dot to H2O, but as I am writing reaction here, I am not writing that. When they react with each other, you will be getting the product like this and water molecule. When you balance this equation, here are 2 Na but here is only 1, so 2 NaOH is required to react with 1 COOH, that is oxalic acid. So the ratio of base and acid will be 2:1. Okay. Then third probability of solutions you may choose is Na2CO3 plus HCl. Okay. So earlier in the titration you used NaOH with HCl, NaOH with oxalic acid. So base was same, acid changed. Now your base is sodium carbonate, acid is HCl. So for this, the reaction will be written as 2NaCl plus H2O plus CO2. So here can you see you are getting 2 chlorine in the product. So it means you will require 2 HCl molecules to react with 1 molecule of sodium carbonate. So the ratio will be 1:2 moles. So this is how we can think of the probability. Now fourth possibility which I told you, the reaction of sodium carbonate, which is a weak base, with oxalic acid, which is a weak acid, is not going to be done. We are not going to perform this fourth practical or the fourth titration. This fourth one is not possible because we don't have any proper indicator which can be used in this situation. So that is why we cannot do this titration. While doing the titration, always one solution is the known solution and the other is unknown solution. Okay, so whatever is your... So children, out of the first three cases which I told you, 3 possibilities, you can titrate NaOH and HCl, NaOH with oxalic acid, sodium carbonate with HCl. So these 3 practicals are possible for class 11th, out of which we will be performing these 2, NaOH with oxalic acid and sodium carbonate with HCl. But as I told you, whenever you are taking NaOH, always put it in burette. ये हमेशा burette में जाएगा, ठीक है? Burette is a 50 ml capacity glass tube which you can see very well in the apparatus required for the titration. I have already uploaded, so you can see how burette looks. Burette is always hanged in the burette stand, and whenever you are using NaOH and you are doing the titration, NaOH will always be filled in the burette. So as I told you, there will always be remaining an unknown solution. Unknown solution वो है जिसकी हमें कैलकुलेशन करनी होती है, जिसके लिए हम टाइट्रेशन करते हैं. सो दिस विल बी सपोज अवर फर्स्ट एम टू डिटरमाइन द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द गिवन NaOH सॉल्यूशन. यू मे ऐड वन मोर थिंग टू डिटरमाइन द मोलारिटी एंड स्ट्रेंथ. सो ये और स्पेसिफिक हो जाएगा. टू डिटरमाइन द मोलारिटी, बुक में सिर्फ स्ट्रेंथ लिखा है, हम दोनों कर सकते हैं। टू डिटरमाइन द मोलारिटी एंड स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द गिवन NaOH सोल्यूशन। सो जिसका मोलारिटी और स्ट्रेंथ पूछते हैं, NaOH सोल्यूशन का पूछ रहे हैं, सो इट मीन्स हमें नहीं पता है, यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट, तो ये अननोन सोल्यूशन कहलाता है। ठीक है, और क्या दिया है, प्रोवाइडेड इज M/20 ऑक्सैलिक एसिड, तो ऑक्सैलिक एसिड की मोलारिटी आपको दी हुई है। ठीक है, तो जो गिवन होता है, जिसकी मोलारिटी पता होती है, उसे हम नॉन सोल्यूशन बोलते हैं। और एक चीज हमेशा आपको एम से पढ़ के पता चल जाता है कि किस चीज को ब्यूरेट में लेना है। जिसका भी मोलारिटी और स्ट्रेंथ डिटरमाइन करना हो, वो चीज हमेशा ब्यूरेट में भरी जाती है, क्योंकि ब्यूरेट में ही रखने के बाद आप रीडिंग निकालते हो। सो रीडिंग कहाँ से आती है, ब्यूरेट से आती है। तो ब्यूरेट में कौन सी चीज फिल करेंगे, वो सोल्यूशन ब्यूरेट में फिल करेंगे जिसका मोलारिटी और स्ट्रेंथ निकालना हो। दिस इज अ हिंट विच यू कैन यूज फ्रॉम दिस क्लास टिल 12th क्लास। तो एक एक्सपेरिमेंट हमारा ये है जिसमें हम NaOH का मोलारिटी और स्ट्रेंथ कैलकुलेट करेंगे और ऑक्सैलिक एसिड को हम एज अ स्टैंडर्ड सोल्यूशन यूज करेंगे, विद द हेल्प ऑफ विच वी विल कैलकुलेट फॉर NaOH। एंड सेकेंड विल बी टू डिटरमाइन द molarity and strength of the given solution of hydrochloric acid, that is HCl। अब क्या बोल रहे हैं, HCl का निकालें, HCl के लिए निकालना है। सो यहाँ पर क्या होगा, HCl विल बी टेकन इन ब्यूरेट, और गिवन क्या है, गिवन इज 0.05 m Na2CO3 solution। So whatever two titrations I told you, if you are doing NaOH HCl or NaOH oxalic acid, always fill NaOH in the burette, and if you are doing sodium carbonate HCl, both of them can be filled in the burette। दोनों को ही आप ब्यूरेट में ले सकते हैं। ठीक है, आप जिसको भी ब्यूरेट में लेते हैं उसके अकॉर्डिंग मिथाइल ऑरेंज कलर चेंज करेगा, वो मैंने आपको पहले ही बता दिया था। बट हमारा जो एम है, इस एम को अगर हम पढ़ें, सो यहाँ पे क्या पूछा है, HCl का मोलारिटी और स्ट्रेंथ निकालो। सो अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस एम HCl विल गो इन ब्यूरेट। अगर आपको उल्टा क्वेश्चन दिया होता कि मोलारिटी और स्ट्रेंथ सोडियम कार्बोनेट का निकालिए और गिवन होता HCl, सो आप सोडियम कार्बोनेट को भी ब्यूरेट में लेके वाइस वर्सा टाइट्रेशन कर सकते थे, जो कि यहाँ पॉसिबल नहीं होता है। इफ NaOH इज देयर, NaOH ऑलवेज गो इन ब्यूरेट, बट HCl अगर है साथ में सोडियम कार्बोनेट के, तो आप दोनों को ही किसी को भी ब्यूरेट में डाल सकते हैं। इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन योर एम कि उसमें क्या पूछा है। सो हमारे एम में सोल्यूशन ऑफ HCl का स्ट्रेंथ और मोलारिटी पूछा है, सो वी विल फिल HCl इन ब्यूरेट। एज आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, फिल द सोल्यूशन इन ब्यूरेट हुज calculations are to be done, it means whose molarity and strength is supposed to be calculated. Just one thing has to be added here, for balancing this equation 2 supposed to be prefixed here, rest everything is correct. So that all was the introduction for titration. I hope it was clear. Thank you for watching.